It's knowing that your door is always open and your path is free to walk.
He has sold over 40 million albums, won Grammy Awards in both the country music and pop categories, taken home statues for Male Vocalist of the Year from both the CMA and ACM, along with the ACM Legendary Pioneer Award and CMA's Entertainer of the Year trophy, and his gospel releases have earned him a Dove Award. Glen Campbell is here with a 40-plus year career that has made him a leading figure in the country music pop genre. Back in Arkansas, it was Glen's dad who noticed his boy's love for music and bought him a $5 guitar from Sears and Roebuck.
I am the lineman for the county.
By 16, the young Campbell had left school, joining his Uncle Dick Bill's band in Albuquerque, New Mexico. 1961 found the 24-year-old in L.A., becoming one of the most in-demand session musicians, playing on the recordings of Frank Sinatra, Elvis Presley, the Monkees, Nat King Cole, Merle Haggard, the Beach Boys, and that list goes on.
By the time I get to Phoenix, she'll be rising.
Also in 61, Turn Around Look at Me was issued as a single and grabbed the attention of the people at Capitol Records. For 18 months between 1964 and 65, the Beach Boys invited him to join them as their bassist.
Southern nights, have you ever felt a southern night? Woo!
Glen's first album for Capitol, The Green River Boys featuring Glen Campbell, was titled Big Bluegrass Special, and after that, the floodgates opened.
Like a rhinestone cowboy, riding out on a horse in a star-spangled rodeo.
The year was 1967, and the hits poured forth. Gentle on My Mind, By the Time I Get to Phoenix, the Grammy Album of the Year in 68, I Want to Live, The Dreams of the Everyday Housewife, Wichita Lineman, also Galveston, Rhinestone Cowboy, and Southern Nights. The Smothers Brothers caught Glen on the Joy Bishop Show 34 years ago and asked Campbell to host their summer replacement series, which led CBS network executives to offer Glen his own variety program to showcase his talents.
Ladies and gentlemen, my friend Johnny Cash.
The Glen Campbell Good Time Hour was born and debuted in January of 69, becoming a #1 favorite with 50 million households watching each and every week. From TV to the big screen, he appeared in the films True Grit with John Wayne and Norwood. 8 years ago, Glen published his autobiography, Rhinestone Cowboy, while last month the pop duo from Birmingham, England, Ricky and Daz, released a dance mix version and video of Rhinestone Cowboy with Glen as special guest. In stores January 28th, you'll find the definitive collection, Glen Campbell All the Best, featuring 25 classic recordings from this excellent musician, singer, and entertainer. And here to talk about this remarkable career, Mr. Glen Campbell, and welcome.
Thank you.
Nice to have you here.
It's good to be here. It really is.
The new CD coming out January 28th, Glen Campbell All the Best. In fact, so new, we don't even have the cover as of yet.
Yeah, that'd probably be about as good as anything you dream of. Who knows?
Yeah, right. Simple, black and white.
You can see who it is real quick.
What are the songs on this disc that are most personal and special to you, and why?
Oh, gosh, that'd be hard to name all of them. Well, a lot of them are special to me because they're just great songs, you know. Like Wichita Lineman, that one, most played song of the millennium. Not necessarily my record of it, but it was the most played song on radio, period, since radio, which is saying a lot for Jimmy Webb.
Absolutely.
And his writing, and I guess just the appreciation, MacArthur Park, stuff like that.
But is there any song, though, one song, one particular one on this CD that, let's say, best defines you as a musician, as a singer, as an entertainer? Who is Glen Campbell?
Oh, I'm Highwayman. By the time I get to Phoenix, I cried when I heard that. I was so homesick. And naturally, Wichita Lineman. Galveston. I mean, that came at a time in American history when, we were at war, and it just seemed to make sense. But Jimmy actually wrote the song about the Spanish-American War, sitting on the beach in Galveston, where those, the cannon emplacements are still there. At least the cement is in Galveston, because I saw them. And it's hard to really just say which one is. I like them all.
But, you know, when you listen to this disc, I mean, I was listening to it since I got it earlier this week, listening to it on the way down. What is it about these songs you think that resonates so well, first with the audience, and then stands the test of time?
Well, again, I think it's Jimmy's writing. When I listen to Wichita Lineman, or by the time I get to Phoenix, the first time I heard Johnny Rivers' record of it, you know.
Right.
I was so homesick. It made me cry just to listen to the lyrics.
Well, you really have a love affair with that city.
Oh, yeah, with Phoenix I do now, yeah. But I didn't live in Phoenix then. But I moved down to Phoenix about 21 years ago because I like it. It's, you know, at least it's a little smaller. It was a lot smaller then. But,
Right.
but I like the climate there. You know, we get, what, 3 or 4 inches of rain a year or something like that. And I can play golf a lot when I am in town. You know, you're not rained out or fogged out or anything down there. And I really like Phoenix, but it did. It made me the spokesman for Phoenix, Arizona, I guess you could call it. But I had not been home to Arkansas for probably 2.5 years. And when I started singing it, by the time I get to Phoenix, you'll be rising, you know. And I started crying. You know, I was so homesick, and I took more trips to home after that, up until my dad died and my mom died.
And what do you think it is about the music that so resonates?
Oh, I think Jimmy Webb marries a chord progression and a melody, just like, you know, icing on cake. You know, it's just really something. The way, like, look at MacArthur Park. He's got one in here, they're called Cowboy Hall of Fame. I don't know if it's released on this one or not, but it's one of my favorite things. His melodies with the chord progression is as good as it gets. It's kind of like Bacharach and David. They're very, very close knit like that. It's not a fluke. It's really good stuff.
Still Within the Sound of My Voice, Highway,
Yeah.
all of them. You know,
I
Wichita
forgot that.
Lineman, By the Time I Get to Phoenix, all Jimmy Webb songs. What was it about the collaboration between you and him that worked so well?
I just loved his singing. I loved his songs. I loved Jimmy's singing. And Jimmy arranged a lot of them. Did everything, you know, strings, horn. But I don't know, Jimmy Webb just had the whole package of writing. He did, MacArthur Park was one take with the band and United Studios live.
Wow.
That was the take
Nice.
that Richard Harris, and he took it to England and put Richard Harris, and he put the Blossoms on there that it had, He's a Rebel. He's a rebel and he'll never ever be any good, which was written by Gene Pitney. You know, you go back in the history that's there. And he took it to London and put it to England, and he put Richard Harris on it. Just let him sing it at his leisure.
Right.
And boy, what a monster. That's a fabulous piece of music.
Johnny Hartford, Gentle on My Mind. What was it that drew you to record that song?
I was driving to a studio. Had a session, and I heard it on the radio, on the country station. Here's a new guy, John Hartford, and I had to pull over when he said, "It's knowing that your door is always open and your path is free to walk." I said, "Wow!" I turned that one up, and I don't think I made a mistake, but I did it almost like Johnny had done the record, John Hartford, and in fact I got John. That's why and John was in with Smothers Brothers then. I didn't know that because they loved him and Mason Williams.
Mason Williams, Classical Gas.
Yeah. Oh, what a great song that is. I love to play that myself.
And you have that on the, you did the show for PBS.
Yes.
With the South Dakota Symphony, and you do Classical Gas
Yes.
on this disc.
I don't know what else on there.
Yeah, no, Classical Gas.
I know
you did
Classical Gas is, but
Right.
I don't know if we did Didn't We or any of the other, or MacArthur Park. I don't know, that may be on there.
Yeah, it is on.
Yeah, oh,
Yeah.
good.
Great disc, too.
Thank you very much. Yeah, for cutting that live, we did a couple of nights. And to get that live in just 2 cuts, I thought that was pretty cool. But when you look at Jimmy Webb doing one take on MacArthur Park for the music, there was nobody singing on it. That's pretty good.
So back to Johnny Hartford, you said that this is a song, I have to record this.
Oh, yes, definitely. I took it right in at Capitol, because I had been doing, they had me doing a thing called Big Bluegrass Special, which the guys that got me the contract at the label, I didn't know I couldn't record anything but American music published songs. And that really upset me. And I told Capitol, I said, we got to get rid of this guy. He's no good at all. His name was Jerry Capehart. And Turn Around, Look at Me that I had on that label, on Crest Records. I wrote half of Turn Around, Look at Me. He put it in his name, and I said, forget it, man. You know, I think God will think of ways to do a heck of a lot worse things that I can do, or good things, whatever the case may be. But it was a big hit for me in 1962. I mean, I got to go open for the Doors, which was frightening.
Yeah, there's a.
I had really never heard of them that much because I didn't listen to them. I was listening to stuff, you know, I was trying to find something for Glen Campbell, if on radio or wherever. Opening for the Doors, though, was an experience I'll never forget.
By the time I get to Phoenix, I mean, what that did in the Grammy Awards in '68, why was it so wildly successful for you? What do you think it was?
When I first heard the song, I cried because I was so homesick. I hadn't been home like in 2.5 years, and I went right back through Albuquerque and Amarillo. I didn't go through Phoenix, but it was like going home. You know, by the time I make Albuquerque, she'll be working. By the time I make Oklahoma, I almost said Arkansas in the end.
Right.
Jimmy said I'd have killed you if you'd have done that. But Jimmy Webb writes very haunting melodies. Was really meaningful. I mean, lyrics that'll reach down and you know, grab you. You're right, and it'll come out your eyes. Cause I was sitting and listening to some of this stuff and some of the stuff out of that the other night because I was going to, you know, not change the act around, but just put different songs in it. And I'm sitting there listening to them, and I noticed tears coming out of my eyes on some of them, and it's just, you know, I'm a sucker for a good song and good lyric.
You know, you've worked, we mentioned that early on, worked with everybody, Frank Sinatra, The Association, Righteous Brothers, you know, Dean Martin, Phil Spector, Rick Nelson, the list goes on and on and on. But do you consider yourself a musician first or a singer and an entertainer first?
Well, I think probably it's in that. I'm a guitar player, I'm a singer, and I was always very bashful to I'm not now, thank God, but I would be very bashful and, you know, say, hi, nice to be here, and you play your song, you know. Which would probably be better if I did that now.
No.